Right next to where it should say the platform number, it just says bus.
If you're new here, I'm Sarah, and over the last year I've been sharing my journeys around the world by train and ferry.
The views are incredible.
I've travelled to Italy, Ireland, Austria and many more places, all without stepping foot on a plane.
So far my favourite part of the trip has been taking the train and the bus.
In my last video I showed how I travelled from London to Croatia by train. Wow. And now I'm going to take you with me as I travel around this beautiful country by train, ferry and bus. Starting with getting the train from the capital of Croatia, Zagreb, to Split on the Dalmatian coast.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, it's pelting it down, so I'm gonna go have to get a rain jacket or an umbrella or something because we're not gonna be able to walk around in this. Our train is at 3:20 today and then we'll get to Split later this evening. First, we need to put our suitcases away in the lockers, and I think they're downstairs, but we're gonna go find them now.
Nope, I don't even think there is a downstairs here, but the main hall has this cute little book stand in it and the lockers are just to the left of that. So we locked our big bags away and hunted down an umbrella, which we found quite quickly. Now we're getting the tram to a cafe I found. I love trams so much. They feel like trains that can go through the centre of a city. So cool. Anyway, here's the cafe. I had a coffee before finding somewhere for lunch.
So we had coffee at a cafe earlier and then we just had lunch at a vegan cafe, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it was nice. You had a nice blue coffee as well. Latte.
The food was nice, but I ordered a blue latte, which is like spirulina in it, and I felt so bad I couldn't drink it. It tasted like paint. It tasted like paint. It was gross, so had to leave that. But to be honest, I'm just excited to get on the next train. I have the best time when I'm on the trains. Oh yeah, and we need to get our suitcases from the lockers, so, and get some snacks because we're arriving at 9:30. So we're gonna have dinner on the train. So see you in a bit.
This is of yesterday, this is today.
Right, so we just got to the station and looked at the departure board, and right next to where it should say the platform number, it just says bus. So we're getting a bus all the way from Zagreb to Split. I've heard from another tourist that it should still be the same amount of time, so it should still be 6 hours, but my feelings towards buses are not as positive as my feelings towards trains. And we're already getting a bus which is 4 hours tomorrow from Split to Dubrovnik. So I am disappointed, but I'm keeping an open mind. Hopefully it's not too bad. I just really need there to be a toilet on there. If there's no toilet, I'm gonna really struggle with this journey. But yeah, I guess we'll see. So we're at the top, at the front, so the views should be quite good. The seats are actually really comfortable. Only problem, there's no toilet on the bus. So I just had to run to back to the station and use the toilet really quickly. A lot of us are feeling very nervous about this. There's a few people who speak English. So yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes.
So here we go, the start of our 6-hour-long coach ride, and pretty quickly we're getting to some really beautiful views. And yes, we're watching season 4 of Stranger Things. It is one of the best shows on Netflix in my opinion, and it just came out so we couldn't resist. But I did also spend time admiring the landscape, and we're getting pretty lucky here. Just look at these mountains.
Okay, we're at our first stop. I actually don't know if it's going to stop again. So we've been driving for 2 hours and 20 minutes. It's a bit too long to not stop to go to the loo. Other than that though, it's not been that bad. The views have been really beautiful. Obviously the views from a train are way better than a motorway, but you still see the mountains, and it's starting to clear up now. So it was really rainy for a bit, but now the sun's come out. Also the rest stop place is pretty interesting. I might get some shots to show you what that's like because it's pretty unique. I've never seen anything like that at a petrol station. But yeah, we also don't know how long there is left because we met a really lovely woman from America who's she kind of travels the world now just on her own. She sold her house and now this is what she's up to, so that's been really nice. But on her phone it says that it's basically an hour and a half less than it says on our phone. So yeah, not sure what time we're going to arrive there. It would be really good though if we arrived early, but we'll see.
Okay, now I'll show you this weird restaurant slash rest stop slash home to a dozen or so stuffed animals. There were more than just this bear, but it's time to get out of here. A few more hours to go, and yeah, we're not stopping again, so I'm definitely refraining from drinking anything. More incredible views though. We've got mountains, we've got farms, we've got churches, and even lakes before we start approaching Split.
We've just arrived in Split. Woo, it's windy, but it's very warm. The journey actually wasn't too bad. And yeah, obviously it would be better if you had a toilet and it's really inaccessible. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, and the views were really, really beautiful. So now I think we're gonna go to our Airbnb. Today we're heading to Dubrovnik by coach. So the coach leaves at 12:30 and it's around 4.5 hours. So I think we're just gonna go and find somewhere to have breakfast and then head to the bus station.
We're making our way into the old town now, where there's this market on just before we reach Diocletian's Palace, which is basically the main monument in Split. Now for breakfast, I got French toast, then we headed to the harbour where there's another market which is more for tourists. Now please enjoy me struggling to express the chaos that is my thoughts.
A little.
I hate cruise ships.
I do hate cruise ships. I hate them so much. It also fucking stinks. I haven't gotten to the bottom of it, but apparently it's because there's a sulfur source here. Somewhere else on the internet also said it's because it's near a waste thing. I don't know. So far my favourite part of the trip has definitely been the sleeper train and actually the coach because of the amazing views and also meeting that lovely woman.
On that note, let's get me back on a coach.
We just got on the coach and we've got the seats at the front of the bus at the top again, which is really nice. It's not as nice as yesterday's bus. There's a bit of a smell. It's more cramped, like it seems like there's more people here, but it's only 4 hours, so hopefully there'll be toilet breaks.
And we're up again, straight into some killer views, much better weather this time. We're travelling along the Dalmatian coast here, which is one of 4 regions in Croatia, and interestingly, it existed before Croatia. Yes, we're watching Stranger Things again. Anyway, so Dalmatia was actually founded by the Romans, although its borders have changed over the years. And it does have this sort of ancient feel to it as we travel through the landscape.
So we've just stopped at the Bosnian border to have our passports checked because we didn't know this, but you actually go through Bosnia and then back into Croatia. It says no entry there to get to Dubrovnik. There was also a toilet here, so we just went to the toilet, and there hasn't been like an official toilet break, but a little while ago there was a bus stop because it's been stopping at various different stops. And a little while ago, my partner just asked, like, can we go to the toilet? And he was like, 2 minutes, and then quite a few people just got off. There weren't any like public toilets that you could use, so it was a sort of down a dirt road type situation, but I don't really mind that. So I think we're like 20 minutes late at this point. More, maybe. We've been passing some really pretty villages. We've been passing the sea and it's sparkling, so we can't wait to get to Dubrovnik and get in the water.
We're off again, and we literally stopped like 10 minutes down the road after this, which is kind of weird seeing as we're now 1 hour from Dubrovnik, but hey. Oh, also there was a toilet on board the whole time. Back on the bus, and we're starting to reach Dubrovnik. We're sharing a taxi with a Canadian guy, which is taking us just outside the walls of the old town. It cost about 90 kuna, which is £10. Our Airbnb is perfectly situated right in the middle of the old town with this sweet little cat which was sleeping on the steps just outside. We took a recommendation from my friend and our first dinner is right by the sea. It was really tasty.
Hello. Hi. I just like to. Go! Jump far!
Here we're walking on top of the walls around the entire city, hence views of all the rooftops. So we've now been in Dubrovnik for a couple of days. I didn't film after we got back from the bus journey because honestly, it just wasn't great. Like, it was pretty unpleasant. There was actually a toilet on there, which I didn't realise. Even so, it was delayed by over an hour. It was pretty cramped. The views were incredible, so it definitely has that going for it. But I think if I were to do this again, I would definitely get the ferry. So I think that would be my advice to someone who's going to do this trip, because it's actually, we looked up, it's actually 4 hours and 25 minutes to get the ferry between Split and Dubrovnik. And that coach was supposed to be 4.5 hours, but ended up being almost 6. So yeah, I would definitely say get the ferry if you're going to do this journey. And this afternoon, we're going to get the ferry to Mljet. We have to be at the ferry terminal half an hour before the ferry leaves. So we need to be at the ferry terminal at 4 p.m. It only takes an hour and 15 minutes to get to Mljet, so that's great. And I'm really excited to see what the ferry's going to be like. We should arrive in Mljet at 5:30. We're in another taxi now to the ferry. There's a bit of a queue, but it's not long before we're on board. There's a huge area for luggage and there's even a motorbike which makes it on board. I'm making my way up to the upper deck now, which looks very calm, but just wait until we get moving. It's also incredibly hot, so I head back down and here is where our seats are. Okay, so we're on the ferry to Mljet now and we've come downstairs because there's aircon in here and I feel like I'm going to burn if I stay up there for too long, but I will be showing views like as we go. But there's a bar here, toilets, a storage area for everyone's luggage, and also charging ports. Oh, but the bar's quite expensive apparently. So if you want your own snacks, bring your own snacks. We did that. So the ferry will take an hour and 20 minutes, and we're arriving in Pomina, which is on the northwest side of the island. This is the toilet, clean and spacious is how I would describe it. I'm not very good at describing toilets. And it's not long before we arrive in Mljet. First thing we do is check into our Airbnb and immediately go and find somewhere to swim. We walked for about 5 to 10 minutes and found this. This is one of the larger islands in Croatia, and the reason we chose it is because it's a national park and it also has its own coral reef. So over the next couple of days we spent the time exploring the island by bikes we rented from the harbour. We rode the first ever solar powered boats to an even smaller island home to a monastery, and hired a scooter to Odysseus' cave where I jumped off a cliff. We then started to make our way home and took a sunset ferry back to Split. So we're in the hotel room in Split now, and this afternoon we're going to get the train to Zagreb, and hopefully it actually is the train because last time it was the bus. And then when we get to Zagreb, we're going to do the same thing that we did when we came to Croatia, so spend a few hours there for our next train to Zurich. Usually I would have ended the vlog earlier than this because I will just take the same route back home, but because the train was cancelled on the way down, I really wanted to show what the trains in Croatia are like so that that's why I'm filming this bit at the end to show that. So I hope you enjoy. And I really wasn't disappointed. Our train is still running and it's so cute. We're setting off on time at 8:30 a.m. and the journey takes about 5.5 hours. And we're pretty lucky because we've got 4 seats to ourselves and it's not that busy. The views are incredible, just like on the coach, but much more comfortable. And this evening we're just getting on the same sleeper train back to Zurich. Okay, so we're in Zagreb again. I think I'm going to sign off. What is happening here? I think I'm going to sign off the vlog here. Thanks so much for watching, and as usual, more details in the description below, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
He's coming from behind you.